being a hero again, or like
Yeah, I mean, he made a great shot, and they've lost a lot of tough, close games. So that's how seasons go sometimes.
Do you just sit back like on Saturday? There were like 4 buzzer beaters. Is it just that time of year? Do you kind of just say like?
Obviously, for one, we were involved in a great game. There's no disputing that, and tip my hat, to Arizona State. Congratulated Bobby, and texted him, and it was a great game to be a part of, So, and then college basketball's fun. I mean, that's why I do this. I mean, I fell in love with the game, when I was young, watching college basketball growing up, and the excitement that the game brings and what it brings to fan bases and communities is pretty special. And it's going to happen. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be any given Saturday, any given Thursday, and so it happens. Hey, and we obviously, got to learn from it. I mean, it took a team, a two-thirds court shot to beat you, and that's not going to happen very often. But we got to look at the reasons why we put ourselves in that position, and so that's what we're trying to focus on.
Was there anything else when you looked over the films of that game you thought either that could have been done differently?
Well, we had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
That's closing time.
Yeah.
And then on the last play, of course, there's things you can do differently. But you know what? We went through obviously every scenario, and I know the scenarios, and there was a team in the EuroLeague this past weekend that had the same exact situation. They missed the free throw on purpose. Guy picked up the ball, took one dribble, and made the shot, and they lost. So it happens. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, if we had it to do again, we'd do something different, for sure. But you say that about a lot of things. So there's no revisionist history doesn't do me much good.
For a team that plays as fast as you do, is there difficulty in having to ask to slow down late in games to the protect, prevent defense type of approach?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever playing protect or prevent defense, and I'm never really asking our guys to slow down. I'm just asking them to make good decisions. And so, you want to, when you play fast, you have to play with great fundamentals and make great decisions and take care of the ball. And for the most part, we do that in long stretches of the game. And with this under that 6-minute mark, we had a couple questionable shots and a couple regretful turnovers, and those things happen. So we got to try to fix those.
And when it comes to free throws, is it more about the number that you're getting as opposed to the percentage that is more important?
I mean, I think you both. You want a lot of free throw attempts, and you want a free throw makes. I mean, if you have a free throw, you want to make it. So you want to take advantage of that opportunity. And, I'm not dwelling on that at all. I mean, we had 34, I think, free throw attempts, which is pretty good. If you have 34 free throw attempts, and hopefully you can make over 70% of those, and you're living pretty good.
We got a couple of letters and emails, people just particularly about ASU. It's like some people just can't deal with it when you guys lose to ASU. Did you get any of that vibe more so than any other loss you've had to deal with? Or,
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Umar left the game with the knee issue. Came back in. Looks like he did practice today.
Yeah, I mean, he's worked out and done stuff. I mean, he's fine. He's trending good. It's late in the year, and you're watching he's on a little bit of a pitch count some of these days in practice, so it's nothing out of the ordinary. But
he's good for Thursday.
I mean, I'm planning on it. Yeah.
I think that last road trip, California against USC UCLA before the Pac-12 tournament will help prepare your team.
Well, you're playing two really good teams in two tough environments, and that's great. That's we're not asking for anything to be easy right now, and we don't deserve for anything to be easy. So we want to go out and we want to compete and we want to play well and we want to play with great spirit and energy and hopefully have a chance at the end. I mean, that's our plan.
With Umar, is there anything related to what he had to deal with earlier in the season as far as stamina, or you're just talking about?
He's a really big guy who plays in a hard system, and I'm asking him to do a lot. So yeah. I mean, you just want to make sure that hopefully Thursday and Saturday nights he's ready to go.
After the game, you kind of challenged his defensively for the media outlets.
Yeah.
How does he respond? What's that conversation like with him?
I mean, it's fine. I'm just being honest with Zoo, and Zoo's one of my favorite players, and he's had a great year. He's a great player, I think if you asked him, I think he would tell you. I don't think it's, I'm not trying to pick on anybody or light a fire under anybody. I'm just trying to be honest with questions that I'm asked, and Zoo, and hopefully we'll play better defensively, and he has for long stretches this year.
you haven't lost 2 games in a row since you've been here. Is there something about this team where it's bounced back pretty well in general, or any
Game to
trend?
game.
Yeah.
Win or lose, I'm the same.
Well,
Game to game.
Does it get easier for you to coach when you guys are coming off a loss in the sense that they're super motivated or anything like that?
I mean, I don't know necessarily. Maybe you have their attention a little bit more here and there, but I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, it's a game-to-game approach, and it always has been, and it always will be.
How does USC look compared to when you last saw them?
I mean, they look well. They're playing really well. I mean, USC has really talented players, and I think the sneaky thing about them is you have Boogie and Drew Peterson, who are obviously proven stars and really good players, and Morgan's developed into a reliable player. They add the extra big guy now, so they have another 7-footer. And then I think the sneaky thing about them is their role players, those young wings they have, are getting better and gaining confidence and getting experience. And I think when you look at their top 7, 8, 9 guys, it's pretty formidable. So I mean, they have a lot of talent, and Andy's doing a great job with them. And they're obviously playing really well. And to me, it looks like they're playing their best basketball right now.
Though you have no say over the conference schedule, the fact that it played out with playing 2 of the better teams right before the postseason and the conference tournament, do you think that's better than maybe playing the teams that are playing out the string at the bottom?
I mean, I play the schedule that's put in front of me, and I don't sit there and analyze it because, you literally could create Pandora's box. I mean, there's so many things that go into a schedule, and so many things that you can't control, injuries and things of that nature. So I mean, I didn't look at it and think anything of it than oh, yeah, but hey, we obviously got to be at the top of our game at the end of the season, because that's going to be a heck of a road trip.
Do you believe in momentum head into the postseason?
I mean, listen. I obviously, you always want to be playing well because it feels good, but not really. I mean, yeah, I think you can create momentum in 1-10-0 run. It creates momentum that you can really build on, and so I don't put too much stock in momentum over a certain number of games or anything like that. I think you're fighting for that, and once you have it, you're fighting to keep it all the time.
You talking about USC? You guys have actually made Ellis and Peterson they haven't shot very hard against you. Made them work pretty hard. Do you feel like that's been a real point of emphasis?
I mean,
for you guys,
listen,
obviously, or
maybe we've done a good job guarding them, and maybe they've missed some shots. I mean, it's probably a combination of both things, and they're really good players, and I think you're living dangerously if you think you have the answers on how to shut them down that are foolproof, because I don't think there are already foolproof answers to shut those guys down.
What about, we've talked a lot about the lineup, with Keller coming off the bench. Obviously, there's been benefits to that, but I was just looking at a comparison. It looks like your 3-point shooting particularly got a lot better since then. I mean, is there any correlation to the way things have worked since that move?
I'd have to run a chi-square analysis on that to see if there is a correlation, because I don't think there's any significant correlation between those two things that I can think of. So.
Yeah. Anything else you've noticed besides that it seems to have helped both of those two guys? I mean, other, like Courtney, for example, is playing
listen,
better.
I think, it's unfortunate, that maybe I have made, for some guys, that I made a decision to tighten the rotation, but I think what it's done is it's given that group of guys certainty. And with certainty comes comfort and confidence, and they can play clear-minded a little bit, and maybe that's helped. But hey, we'll see what happens this weekend. Your time of year, you might have to try another guy here or there and see what happens.
And Courtney seems like he's playing a little bit, shooting a little more efficiently. Is that maybe just Courtney?
I think this team's been together for 5-6 months now. I think people are comfortable, and I'm more comfortable coaching them. They're probably more comfortable playing for me and our staff, and so I just think it's just probably a combination of all those things.
How did you? I just was curious. I know that you. When you went to Flagstaff, I'm still curious how you do this. Like, do people approach you in the stands, like, why are you here, that kind of thing, or do you get any of that? Or are you just like another guy?
Do you wear a hat and like a disguise?
A hat, glasses, nose, and a mustache.
Yeah, that wasn't you that jumped up and
that was
pretty much
not
attacked
me.
Liam right over the shot.
Actually, I thought it was Brigger.
Yeah. Briggs was down there. Yeah, Briggs and I know. No, it's a dad. I'm just a dad. I'm like nothing, and I just roll in there, and it's a normal day. And it was awesome. It's awesome to go up there and see him a few times, and I think that's the tough thing. And tough thing in my job is the one thing that a lot of times gets neglected is your family.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
So anytime, you know, I can support one of my kids, you know, I mean, I got to try to take advantage of that.
So you saw 3 games of his this year or 4?
I don't know. I'd have to go back in my Rolodex and my calendar and look. I don't know. Hey,
Okay.
day to day.
Did you guys, with the overtime, you still have time for dinner after? Before you hit the...
I haven't eaten since. That overtime killed me. I'm famished right now. Of course we did. We had dinner after, for sure we did.
Well, I don't know how
Dinner.
much time you have or whatever
Yeah.
plane
I
you're
mean,
on.
if I go to see my son, we're going to take him out for dinner, of course. Yeah.